Hey everybody, Bob Babbitt here, Challenged Athletes Live. Our next guest, Ella Rodriguez. You talk about an athlete who does pretty much everything. We're talking surfing, we're talking golf, basketball, track and field, you name it. Ella, how the heck you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I am wonderful, wonderful. First of all, you were down here in San Diego. We're doing some workouts with Scout Bassett.
Yeah, we call it Scout Camp.
A scout
Um,
camp.
yeah. This
Yeah.
week kind of focused mainly on like life skills instead of the more training stuff because most of the tracks and the gyms are closed down right now. But we focused a lot on life skills and we had loads of fun doing it. So
I
it's
love it.
awesome.
It's fascinating because you think back when you were a little girl growing up, having your right foot amputated as a baby in Gilroy, and obviously not much exposure to other challenged athletes. For you to have a mentor like Scout has to be pretty cool.
It's amazing. It's pretty much everything that I've ever wanted in my life. And I can't, I'm so blessed to have her, especially as my mentor. She's the most amazing person, and just being able to spend time with her and get to know each other fully is probably the best experience I've ever had.
What have you learned from her? What has Scout helped you with?
She's definitely helped me with being my own person. She embraces that full-heartedly.
Yeah,
And she has taught me to be generous and to be my own person in myself while giving to others, which I think has amplified the level of how much I want to mentor others. And her mentoring me makes me want to mentor and help others.
when I think of you, I think of Brolio, and I think of someone who, someone growing up who didn't have that mentor and didn't know anybody like themselves. And then here you are playing wheelchair basketball and you meet this fifth grader, Brolio, who's on a wheelchair basketball team, but he has a piece of crap chair, right? A hand-me-down chair.
Yeah.
And that was really your concept to help him get a wheelchair basketball chair. And I'm guessing that made you feel pretty darn good.
I almost cried. Anytime that I witness anyone see a grant, I feel very teary-eyed because I know what that experience is like. But I have a very good connection with Braulio, and he's one of my teammates. And to see him finally get the equipment that he really needed to be a better player and to just be a better person as well, it really it had me emotional.
Talk a little bit about trying to play sports as a little girl with missing a leg, right? And trying to play with the other kids. How hard was that?
Um, Growing up, I watched my sister do all these other sports. She did mainly running, but she also did soccer,
Yeah.
and cross country and track. So I saw how much she was having fun with her sports, and that made me want to find my own sport that I could find myself in, and something that made me happy.
Right.
So when I was little, I tried out for all kinds of sports. My mom and my dad were really supportive of me going into able-bodied sports, like field hockey and volleyball, soccer, anything really.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. um, but I think the one thing that separated me from the other athletes was obviously my physical disability. um, I felt like I was a step behind them, even though I had the same drive and um, motivation to be an athlete.
Right.
But it was hard to see myself um, and to teach my body a different way of moving like other able-bodied athletes. And I think I kind of had to teach myself, which is much harder because when you don't have someone to coach you or mentor you in how to do these things, you can feel really lost.
So when did you find CAF and what has CAF brought to you?
So I first got in contact with CAF when I wrote a letter to Santa when I was 9. And that following year in October, I attended SDTC. One of the CAF members contacted my mom and saw my mom's Facebook post posting the letter from Santa and or to Santa.
Yes.
And they were able to make that wish come true. And little Christmas magic for you, right?
Was that Travis?
Travis, yes. And that has ultimately changed my life. Going to SDTC and seeing all the other athletes there and all the kids running in their wheelchairs and their prosthetics, it was really motivating for me. And I was like, oh, there is a community out here and I'm really not alone.
Well, yeah, because your letter to Santa was basically you wanted a friend like you, someone who looked like you. And then you come to
Exactly.
SDTC and there's hundreds of them.
Yep.
Have you made some friendships there that will probably last a lifetime?
Absolutely. Before we mentioned Scout, that
Yes.
will be a friendship that will probably it will always be there. And I know that I can rely on her for anything.
Yes.
I've made many friends also my age to talk with. And what I kind of found funny was that they originally, I thought that I wanted someone exactly like me, like with the same amputation and the same personality. Like I ended up making friends that were completely different than me, like with different disabilities. And I think just realizing that, it really it gave me a boost of individualism, because I suddenly was proud to be in a community where we are all different, but we all have this same thing in common, and it's a magical experience.
What's cool, this is sort of a good era in terms of adaptive sports because there is adaptive surfing, there is track and field, there is wheelchair basketball, and you're doing the salad bar. You're doing some of all of it. What is there a favorite? Is there one sport you like above the others?
Oh, I'd have to say that I don't know, for certain things, I like each sport for certain things.
Yeah.
Um, I love surfing a lot. It's really fun. I don't get to do it as often. It's a kind of like a little mini hobby, but it really gives me a really good feel to be in the ocean and surf. Um, Track obviously is just very fulfilling and it's very expressive. I can run, and it kind of balances just all that's going on, and it feels really good to run. And then wheelchair basketball, that was my first love.
Yes.
And that was what introduced me mainly to adaptive sports, and that was the first thing I tried. So it will always have a really special place in my heart.
The other great thing about adaptive sports is there's scholarships now, right? There's college scholarships. You are a high school junior.
Hmm.
So are you starting to think about, I wonder what school and what sport I want to play?
For sure. I we actually had to talk about this for graduation requirements this week in
Hmm.
school. So
Oh,
it's really good to have a school that's very focused on that. But I will say that the new scholarship opportunities are really they're very, very encouraging, because it kind of lets everyone know that, oh, there are things out there, and it's just more accessible, I feel, to go to college and be an athlete, and especially being an adaptive athlete. Um, because that's just important. To have that representation is important. And regarding colleges, just, I don't know anything. I haven't really chosen, like, kind of keeping things open right now. I really just kind of want to focus on high school, but definitely I am thinking about college for sure.
I love it. Now, you were down in New Orleans 2018 with the Pelicans. I think that's where you were surprised with your new wheelchair basketball chair. How fun was that?
That was amazing. I was so grateful and so happy for that, because it felt like a game changer, because I fit in a chair that was made for me.
Yeah.
And it's such an indescribable feeling, because you feel like it's almost like a new exoskeleton, I would say. You're able to be level with the other players, and it's something that's custom for you, and it just feels so special. That experience alone was just amazing. Like, like that was definitely a pinnacle moment in my life, and it was amazing to be surrounded by such amazing athletes. And I will never forget that experience.
Who'd you meet?
I met Steve, and then Steve Serio and Megan Blanc, mainly. Those are the two names that stick out to me the most.
Love it. Yeah, and obviously wheelchair basketball leads to potentially Paralympics. So is that something, because all those folks have Paralympic experience and Paralympic medals, is that something that Ella would like to do?
I'd love to go to the Paralympics, really, just in general, like whether it be for track or for basketball. Like, I don't know what's going to come in the next few years. And, this year I think has taught us eventually that life's unpredictable. You never know.
Yeah.
And I think just focusing myself on what I love to do the most, I think is the most important thing I have to do, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that I know for sure.
Love it. So if you could give a message to a lot of our younger kids, the young Ella out there who's, sort of been stuck inside, not being able to play their sports, not being able to be with their friends, what would your message be for some of those folks?
Ooh, kind of tough, because there's a lot of things I would say.
We got lots of time.
True. I would probably say there are people out there. You're not alone. And the community you find in sport is unlike anything, and it brings people together. So never stop losing hope in it. And eventually this will all pass, like most things do. And eventually you'll be able to make your own decisions on whatever you choose to do. And no matter what that decision is, make sure it's something that you love to do and something you're proud to do.
What's your favorite CAF moment?
Oh, there's so many. I don't know. I think the thing that hits me the most might be either the surf clinic or surf clinics, like all of them, just in general.
Yeah.
And the surf,
that's good.
Yeah, the surf camp and clinics. And I think if I had to choose one other thing, I would probably say the Celebration of Heart celebrations.
Pretty cool evening.
They're really cool. Yeah.
Now, you're also, both mom and dad are respiratory therapists, so they're on the front lines during all this. How has that been, just with mom and dad so busy in something so important?
Yeah, it's been difficult in some spots. It's it's kind of scary, like it's really scary. I'm not gonna lie there. But I know that my parents are responsible enough, and they will do what their job is while keeping their family safe, and they know, they're responsible about it. And I think as long as you're responsible about it, it's, I think you'll be okay. And as long as you go back your sources by science and stay safe and stay healthy, I think it's all that there's really to it. It's hard. It seems more simple than it seems, but it's hard.
It's scary. Yeah, no question about it. You've also been involved with our CAF Community Challenge, which I think we've now raised over $1 million and way over 100,000 miles. Has that been fun for you?
Yeah, it's been really awesome. I think even it's definitely reassuring that even though we're facing difficult circumstances and that everything has to be online, we can't see each other in person. I think that it's really amazing that this community is still together, and we're still making changes in other people's lives, which is amazing, because if this program wasn't here, like, my life would be completely different, and I know other athletes' lives would be completely different as well. So the fact that we're continuing even through the situation that we're in is amazing.
Ella, you are amazing. Such a pleasure to get to chat with you. We love having you part of the CAF family. You've done so much to help make CAF great. And I know that eventually we're going to see you playing ball in college and then moving on to Paralympics and pursuing whatever dreams you want to pursue. Thanks, Ella, for joining us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this, and just all that you guys do. I just want to say thank you, like, eternally. I'm so grateful for you guys.
Ella Rodriquez has been our guest again. My name is Bob Babbitt. This is Challenge Athletes Live. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody.